If he died on Gallipoli, that's where he would be now in the cemeteries. And they, are, of course, are cared for by the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, as it's called today. In 1917, the Imperial War Graves Commission was instigated. This, of course, was after the incredibly hard work and the vision of a chap called Fabian Ware. He was the chap who realised that there was a huge need for a burial system from the First World War, and he stepped up and created, in fact, the Imperial War Graves Commission. It later became the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. Their task, of course, is to look after in perpetuity, that is forever, our lads who are lying in hundreds and hundreds of Commonwealth War Graves Commissions throughout the world. On the Gallipoli Peninsula there are 30 cemeteries that they look after so very well. The Helles Memorial, of course, is in dedication and in memory of 21,000 lads who lost their lives on the Gallipoli Peninsula but have no known graves. It was designed by Sir John Burnett, a Scots architect, and one of the things the Commonwealth War Graves Commission was tasked with after the First World War was the creation of all these cemeteries, these silent cities, as Rudyard Kipling called them. And they set to with the best architects of the age, Lutyens, Burnett, Holden, and such like. The planting was was under advice from Gertrude Jekyll and Kew Gardens. And so you can see that simply from the way the organisation was run, that this was a serious business, and everyone was determined to do the best for the boys who had lost their lives in the First World War. The Gallipoli Peninsula is particularly difficult to maintain and to keep looking as beautiful as it does because of the weather conditions. The conditions can vary from frost and even snow and torrential rain down to baking heat in the summer and 42 degrees, which burns off all the grass. This takes a great deal of educated thought as to what sort of planting that will survive, what kind of grass will survive. And of course there's a vast amount of stone masonry that has to carry on. It is a perpetual thing. Most people won't realise that these headstones do wear out after a period of time, and they have to be recut and they have to be replaced, of course. And visitors to the Gallipoli Peninsula, or indeed to any Commonwealth War Graves Commission cemetery, will be absolutely delighted to see how well the Commonwealth War Graves Commission maintains the cemeteries on our behalf. It's financed through our taxes, and the Commonwealth nations also contribute to the upkeep of the cemeteries as well. This process that Sir Fabian Ware thought of from 1914 onwards, when he was working with the British Red Cross, is now in culmination in any cemetery that you go into nowadays, be it on the Western Front or India or wherever, Gallipoli Peninsula. They are all much the same. The headstones on the Gallipoli Peninsula are different. They are more of the pedestal type as opposed to the standing oblongs that we're used to on the Western Front. This is because of earthquake, the possibility of earthquake, also unstable ground that could occur. Even with the pedestal type headstones, on occasion you can still see that they're slightly out of line. Of course, this is anathema to the War Graves Commission. This is something they don't like. They immediately set to put this right, as well as the planting. The planting looks like, you might imagine, is just planting as in your garden, but it's very structured and very organised. Low-lying shrubs to protect the headstones from mud when it rains, higher kind of shrubbery to protect the cemeteries, and the flower beds from the wind. It's all very scientifically worked out, and I think anyone that goes into a Commonwealth War Graves Commission cemetery, as I said before, should be delighted at the way that our lads are looked after by the Commission.